Yeet!
We have a break in the action.
What's going on, guys? Rounded Tiktak here, and today I want to talk to you about Infinite Affliction. Well, let's be honest. Fortnite has done something incredibly broken in this game when it comes to Affliction damage. I believe the Cloudburst bow and the Nature bow are based off of it. The Nocturno insta-killing everything and crashing PS4s is also based on this Affliction bug. But if you don't have any of those weapons and just want to see exactly what I'm talking about, and we're going to test something as well, you're going to see how crazy Affliction is just in the game as it is right now. Now, with this whole COVID-19 thing, I'm just going to do kind of a live review of just showing you what I'm talking about and not really, having an entire video, but the information is here. Now, Affliction currently hits very, very hard. I did a video in the past. I'll link it right now in the card above if you want to check it. Slow and Snare versus Affliction. In that instance, Slow and Snare won, in my opinion, by a buttload. Affliction used to hit for, are you ready for this? 2,900 and I believe 93 damage. That's it. That's all it did over 6 seconds for a total of like 18,000 damage. Which, when you have a health pool on an enemy pushing over 1 million, maybe even 2 million, it's really peanuts. It doesn't help at all in most scenarios. But I'm going to jump into a mission and I'm going to show you exactly what they did and how much better it might be. And in fact, it might be one of the better 6 perks in the game right now. And it also might bring back one of the crowd favorite weapons. So let's get into it. The weapon we're going to be using is the Noble Launcher. I'm solo. I'm going to jump into my endurance and we're just going to see how many enemies it can kill. The loadout we are using is faster explosions, explosive rounds, plasma arc, fumble, battle beat, and fire of the dragon for more Affliction. Now, I was using this yesterday on Snuggle Specialist Sarah, and this was giving me fire Affliction plus her regular energy Affliction. I don't know what's going on with this, just another thing to tack on to a broken Affliction ability in this game. But let's jump into my SSD, just the easiest way to show you guys, and we're gonna try to hold it down with just us because I'm almost positive my tunnels still don't have traps on them by myself, and we're gonna see exactly how well we can do. All right, so we are in my SSD. I am solo. We're going to test later on to see if having people in your party increases the damage numbers. Now, if you go watch my old video, you'll notice once again that Affliction ticks were only hitting for 2,900. Let's just round it up to 3,000. They were hitting for 3,000 damage over 6 seconds. Basically useless. Now, it also didn't depend on what weapon you were using. The base damage of the weapon, or if you got a headshot or a crit, did not matter at all. Now I'm not so sure. It was a set number and nothing you can do could change it. In this SSD, all of the damage traps are gone, at least for the first 2 or 3 waves. And the reason that is because I just want it to be easier for you guys to see exactly what's going on. Now, we have 3 weapons here to test. All of them have Affliction. Granted, I'm not kitted for all 3 because they're all kind of different, but we have the Paper Shredder with a base damage of 77,000. We have the Rat-Tat-Tat with a base damage of 7,000, and the big boy is 234,000 damage. I'm going to show you 2 different things here that you can try, and we're going to see exactly how much we're hitting for. Another thing they added is now Affliction can crit. So we're in my SSD all alone, and we're going to see if you can get the numbers higher. So I am running Totally Rocking Out in this build, which is fantastic, but I'm going to have to proc it myself. So with the Paper Shredder, let's see. It's going to just kill everything. These guys are level 127. I'm trying to get it so we can see an Affliction tick. But the reason you can't see the Affliction tick is because it's infinite. And because it's infinite, it's not working properly. But as soon as I switch weapons, you're going to start seeing numbers pop up. See that? So our Affliction is hitting for 24,000 damage. Ready? Watch. Switch. And you see the Affliction ticks back there for 11,000. We don't have Totally Rocking Out on right this second. But let's try to get that up and running as well. Because I'm telling you, it's part of the reason that these numbers are critting. Now, another thing to take notice here is that if we keep our eyes on a single enemy, let's just see somebody who's coming up here if I don't get blasted and killed. We're gonna hit one enemy with the rat-a-tat. We're gonna switch here just because it's easier to show you. This blaster has full health. I'm gonna shoot him one time. Look at his health. If I do not change weapons, he has an affliction tick on him that can crit. You saw as soon as Totally Rocking Out turned on, it started to crit. And the damage difference is huge. He's still being afflicted by that one bullet that we did shoot at him. I'm trying to get his health bar, but it's not showing up, of course, and I don't want to die here. But as long as we don't switch weapons, he's going to eventually die. Look at this. Almost done. And there you go. We shot him with one bullet. Just one bullet, and it was enough to kill him. Now, if you want to see what the actual numbers are, you just switch your weapon, and you can see what kind of numbers we're getting here. 11,000, which is much more than 3. And these aren't the crits. If I can get it to actually turn on, if I can get Totally Rocking Out to turn on, you will see the damage numbers be much bigger than that. So there we got it. Totally Rocking Out's on, and it's just killing these guys. Let me see. What do we have now? 12,000, 47,000. Remember, there's no damage traps down there whatsoever. So 47,000 damage now is what Affliction can hit for, and it can crit. So what does that mean for things like the Noble Launcher? Well, let's find out exactly. Before we get to the Noble Launcher, at least there you can see that it's infinite. And just once again, to keep it infinite, just do not switch your weapons. And the way you can abuse that, in a sense, is just use something like the Paper Shredder and just never switch weapons. Even though you cannot see the numbers, because for some reason they're invisible, as long as you do not switch weapons, they're still doing damage. So you can take something like the Paper Shredder or the Boom Bow even. In fact, do I have a Boom Bow? I do. Let's try the Boom Bow instead of the Paper Shredder. And let's see exactly like how many things we can get afflicted at once. Let's take down that Healer Husk, because the damage is still pretty minimal if we're being completely honest. And a Healer Husk is something that kind of counters dot damage. So we got to take them out ASAP. All right, I don't see one anymore. There's one over here. That's okay. So now all of these things are afflicted, right? And they're all taking dot damage, but we can't tell until we switch our weapon. But they just died from the tire traps. Tire traps are OP, man. The Noble Launcher, I'm pretty sure you can get it right now, is not my favorite launcher, but can it hold its own in a tunnel like this? Let's find out. We're going to wait till they come up here. I'm going to drop my slow field. I'm just going to stand back and see what we can do. Oh, man. It's actually quite impressive. Holy crap. Now, I believe there's a Healer Husk, and we're going to go take care of him real quick, or her. There's one down there I'm not too worried about, because I want to see... This is actually kind of mute, because what's happening is they're insta-dying anyway, and I can't make them do less damage. So I can't even see if the Affliction perk is actually working like the way I want it to. Once we get a Smasher, we'll be in a little better state. And one just spawned. Just need him to actually come up the ramp here. Here we go. So he has half health. That means something hit him along the way. There we go. Now we can see what the Affliction does to him. Not much. See, even in its broken state, it's really not hitting that hard. But then again, Totally Rocking Out is not on. This should be a good shot right here. Oh my lord. Now Totally Rocking Out's kicked in, and the Affliction ticks are hitting for 27,000. Why is that? I have no idea. Now, another question is, can you stack Afflictions? So let's shoot him a couple times. We're going to switch to this. We're going to load this up, get Totally Rocking Out, and hit him at the same time. I think we killed him. Whoops. But, I mean, a build like this is actually quite fun. Not going to lie. I'm actually enjoying myself. 420,000 damage. That means, and I'm solo. So in reality, oh my gosh, in reality, that would be hitting for over 600,000 with a full party. Hi, This is before, or this is after I recorded, but I want to record this. Don't mind the pale blue light here. It's my window right there. But while I was recording, I thought of something, and then I went into game to check because I'm a thorough content creator, and it turns out that I am correct. So what I want to show you here is Rex. Now, Rex has some very weird interactions with weapons in this game. Very weird interactions. The Mythic AR video, that was all Rex. Something goes on, something happens with his perk, where you just get a bunch of different damage numbers, and it happens with Affliction, which further confuses me on what this actually scales off of, because it makes no sense. It makes no sense. I don't know. Let me just show you. I'm just going to jump back into endurance. I'm just going to shoot a couple guys and you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. It also scales with parties. So I'll play some footage right now while we're loading into the mission. You can see there how hard the Affliction tick, that's what we're worried about here, is hitting in a 4-man party. It's hitting for almost 170,000, 140,000, 200,000. I think I saw once or twice, and just that is a huge difference. So 6 times 2, you'd be 1.2 million damage over 6 seconds. And if you use a big AoE weapon like the Noble Launcher or anything else that has Affliction on it that is an AoE, like the Paper Shredder, something like that, that adds up, considering you can hit all of those enemies at once. Plus, if you have Plasma Arc in your build or something along those lines, it just ends up being a ton of damage. But I don't know why, but Rex seems to make the Affliction tick even higher based on how much health he has, and therefore based on how many players are in the party. So here, just because I'm recording really fast, it's just me. Another thing that I was playing around with was the Hydra, or the quad launcher, and this one's kind of crazy too. So we're just gonna jump in here, we're gonna start it up, and we're gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about here. So I am playing Rex. Let me just show you guys what I'm playing here. I'm playing Rex Jonesy with Blast from the Past, Saurian Claws, Plasma Arc, Saurian Hide, Battle Beat, and Fire of the Dragon, which increases our duration by 34%. Let's start off with the Santa's Little Helper. And based on the footage that you just saw, watch the difference in damage numbers here. If anything survives. That's interesting. All right, so there it is over there. I don't know if you saw it, 160,000. Here, we should be able to get it on one of these blasters to proc. There it is, 93,000. Look, he's almost dead. And then also, just like in the Mythic AR video, there's a secondary number popping up. You see that? 75,000, and then 900 and 2,500, 4,000. I don't know what that is either. I'm assuming it's something very similar to the Mythic AR bug that was happening where those double damage numbers kept coming up. But let's kill the healer husks, and then you can see exactly how this is working here. Just another thing that's broken, right? The other thing I wanted to show you is this. The quad launcher is absolutely disgusting in this build. If you ever played around with this thing, it used to be pitiful, the amount of damage it would do. Now, however, it's holding its own quite well. The Affliction damage, as you can see, is basically doing all the work. Plus the crowd control it provides. You can see them like bumping around and getting staggered and stunned and knocked down and stuff. It really does add up to a decent amount of damage. And it's just a lot of fun to use. Not a lot of people use this weapon. I don't even know if people have it. But as the enemies just come up, as long as you have a choke point, man, nothing's making it up. There's so much dot damage sitting right there that once they do start to come up, though, there is a healer husk, and we're actually out damaging him, which is quite impressive. So, Affliction damage. You can have it infinite. You can have it do 200,000 damage per tick if you're playing Rex. All in all, it's in a better spot than it was, and I still don't feel like it's completely overpowered. You can use this in a regular mission, and the amount of damage you would be receiving is noticeable. But in endurance with healer husks and huge health pool smashers, it's really not the best play. But it does add up to a lot of extra damage in the long term of things. It's definitely something that needed to be in the game. Now the question is it intended? And who the hell knows? But that is the new Affliction on Rex on a regular character, how to make it infinite, and everything else in between. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you on the next one. If you're new to the channel, think about subscribing. I post videos like this and full trap tunnel guides all the time. I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay safe out there. TikTak out.